Hey gang, it's Ellie. We're using a cheap VTuber model because I don't feel like setting my green screen back up. Deal with it. And if you don't like it, I don't care. So, and I actually kind of like how this model looks. So we're just gonna work with it. So now that No Games Fest is over and Jeff Keighley can finally return to his dungeon until December, I guess it's time I make a video about stuffs. Obviously, there wasn't much there, hence the No Games Fest quip. Incredibly original, I know. I know. Thank you very much. I'm very original in that aspect. Anywhoosies, I'd like to talk about the only thing that held my attention for longer than it was on the screen for. And for those who didn't see the thumbnail or are of the 13.7% of the entire world that is functionally illiterate, I'm obviously talking about Expedition 33. Or, sorry, Clair Obscure Expedition 33. Now, for starters, the story feels super interesting with the paintress and her painting the numbers and her slowly erasing all life little by little. Something I also do like to do in my free time. The story, if done right, will be pretty good. And of course, the world is super interesting too. The Steam page says the game is inspired by Belle Époque, France. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I took 4 years of French, and I have no clue what I'm doing, so... The Belle Époque period, meaning the beautiful era, was from 1871 to 1914 in France. According to the Wikipedia page, it was characterized by optimism, enlightenment, regional peace, economic prosperity, colonial expansion, and technological, scientific, and cultural innovations. So, very French, to say the least. And it would have been pretty cool to see, if the game's art style were in a more painting aspect from this period of time, kind of like how Okami is with traditional Japanese paintings. But what we have is perfectly fine, honestly. Continuing on, I'd like to talk about the music, obviously, because that's kind of my whole thing. Okay, yeah, the music is incredible, and of course, to avoid copyright, I'm not going to play it here, and just because everyone's uploaded it, and I'd rather not get copyrighted. I guess it's just a thing I don't want to do, personally. Additionally, since there isn't a clear rip of the song, we probably won't see one until after the game comes out with the OST release. Hey gang, Future Ellie here. Actually, to rectify this, turns out that the Expedition 33 YouTube channel just has the entire trailer song fully uploaded, as well as a few other tracks. So there's that, I guess, which pretty base of them, honestly. Either way, easily the best part of the trailer for me at least was when the piece kicks into high gear in the combat section and it's in time with the actual actions. Super good. So good. It's so good. I highly doubt that this game will have rhythm-based stuff and whatnot in the combat. I don't see that happening, but they could have rhythm-based stuff in an instrument playing mini game. I don't know. They could do some interesting stuff with this period, because I don't think anyone's done anything of the sort, at least in this time period, or just in France alone, because, well, yeah, it's France. Also, while writing the script, I did a bit of digging on the devs. The game is developed by Sandfall Interactive, which is a studio HQ'd in France, which explains a lot. And additionally, their website, which is sandfall.co, you can see it on the friggin' screen right here, I guess. I don't know. I hope my future self can put that in. She's probably too stupid to remember. Who knows? Their website shows several of the team lead members and their favorite games, all of which are pretty well cultured, aside from the lead artist who likes League, but it's fine to have some wrong opinions, I guess. Now, the composer, whose name I'm hoping I'm pronouncing correctly, Laurent Testard, lists his favorite games as Majora's Mask, Nier Automata, Hollow Knight, and Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, which all of those games have incredible soundtracks. So I'm led to believe that Expedition 33's soundtrack is probably going to be too powerful for mortal ears to hear, so just maybe get some protection. Additionally, on top of all of that, their creative director and lead programmer both used to work at Ubisoft. So this seems to be where all of the good Ubisoft devs that is, went. So it explains why those goobers are just completely shitting bricks right now. Okay, fine. I'll talk about it. we have turn-based combat. And not only that, my expert in that trailer analysis is correct, the combat might even have Mario RPG style action commands. These Frenchies have literally just dropped Peak on our doorstep, and it's about freaking time. This game has been everything I've needed and so much more. From the music, to the world, to the story, to the freaking turn-based combat. I'm so freaking ready for this game. I need it to be 2025 now. Analyzing the combat closely, there are at least 3 active members at a time, as you can see here, which is pretty typical. The combat has nice snappy menus with a dynamic camera and all that fun stuff. We even have a turn order on the side, so it's likely speed stats will be involved to a degree, and also this could be the key to some super spicy cheese. Now looking back at the combat menu, right here, there's items that you get with Y, skills with X, and attack with A. To the left of Gustav here, this is our main guy, his name is Gustav apparently. Fantastic name. Anyway, so left of Gustav, we have the LT to aim. We see in a later clip that Gustav uses a gun to shoot the enemy. So LT could be the command to use your secondary weapon to shoot the rock puppies on Route 3. Then in the bottom left corner, we have L to flee and R to skip turn. As the camera zooms in, this 1 in a blue thingy appears. Looking at the health bars, it's likely that this is connected to the blue bar at the bottom here. These points are possibly your currency to attack and use abilities. It could possibly cost 1 point to attack, but you can skip your turn to charge up more points and use a more powerful skill in a few turns. In the same fight, they show us a glimpse of the skill tab. We have Overcharge, which costs 4 points and does lightning damage, and scales based on the amount of charges. The charges could be referring to the blue meter that I just talked about. Next is Lumiere Assault, which costs 3 charges for low physical damage, but is also a 5-hit move, so it likely still does more damage than your regular attack. This attack also gives you more charges for each crit, so a high crit build could be pretty good here. Last on the left column here is Marking Shot. For 2 charges, it does low lightning damage and applies Mark. Mark is probably a status effect. I'm honestly not sure what it could be. Shot in the dark guess at what it is maybe if you inflict Mark on an enemy, it'll take more damage or something. Either way, all of these 3 skills seem to be hotkey to the same face buttons of X, Y, and A. While there are 3 other skills that you'd probably have to scroll over to, those being From Fire, Powerful, and Recovery. From Fire is likely a fire spell, Powerful is a strong physical attack, and Recovery sets your house on fire. I mean, heals you. Skipping to an earlier point, we have what's possibly a late game battle, as everyone in this party has almost 23,000 HP, which is far more than I've ever seen in a game. Either this game uses super high damage numbers, or it's a very long game. The next point is the stanceless message next to this character portrait. My guess here is that there are certain skills that can change your stance in battle that will then in turn affect your stats in different ways, depending on the type of stance you have. Lastly is the action commands. This is the big me here and what I'm really excited for. All in all, they're pretty simple, sure, just press the button at the right time to win. But the simplicity of the action commands isn't really much of an issue for me. However, I do like that they offer a tactile satisfaction of pressing the right buttons for better damage, and it makes you feel like you're contributing more in turn-based games instead of just pressing a button and then you watching an animation. I already loved turn-based combat, but action commands just make the fight infinitely better. However, the action commands even bleed into the defensive side of fights too, with RT and RB being Gradient and Parry. I have zero clue what Gradient could be, but Parry is rather obvious. Just hit the button at the right time and you counter. We see this here even where the game says Mael performs a counter after successfully parrying. Then we have B to dodge and A to jump. It's likely jumping and dodging are easier to time and just save you from some or all damage, while parry lets you prevent all damage and then dish out some damage of your own. Again, I have no clue what Gradient does. I guess the spitball is a stronger counter with incredibly precise timing that lets you always crit on said counter. And that's about it for the trailer. I've read through a decent bit of the information on the website, so if you're wondering where I learned a few things, that's likely where you'll find it. Sandfall Co. has their own website, and then Expedition 33 has its own website. That's where I found most of my information there. And I could talk about all of this stuff there as well, but I feel like this video has gone on long enough, so I'll just leave it at that. And yeah, I think that about covers things. I'm gonna go lie on the cold floor of my room for a bit and just let this game stew in my mind for the next however many months until it finally releases. Anyway, subscribe to inflate my ego and go follow my Twitter for random shit posts, I guess. Okay, bye now.